I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, it's just water, man. Honestly, with flavor, water with flavor. Y'all know about it. Liquid death, y'all. What's up, y'all? Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. This is Grind2Hard. I'm your host, Chef Clay. Today was episode 48. We have a guest. His name is Brian Roberts. Thanks for being on the show today, brother.
What's going on, Clay?
Hey, I appreciate you so much, man. This gentleman has been in my life for a little while now. We actually worked together at my previous job, Costco Wholesale. So, Brian, I appreciate you coming on. You know, it's kind of one of those things that happened organically. I see you in your mode that you're in right now with the motivation. Not only is it like you're getting on the camera and talking motivation and Bible verses, I really appreciate that. I read them and then, you know, because it's from you, but also you're sitting there on the camera and you're looking into the camera and hoping that you connect with somebody and kind of, give them a little spirit for the day. Yeah,
I mean, honestly, and to touch bases on that, and I appreciate you, number one, because like I said, we have known each other for a good minute,
man,
especially working at Costco. But the reason why I did that those motivational thoughts, and I was telling my family and some friends about a year ago, I was just in a mode to where I was like, you know, I'm just gonna just start doing motivational thoughts, and then I stopped. And then literally about a couple months ago, somebody literally reached out to me and they say, you know what, man, I mean that. And I reposted my motivational thoughts again. Right. And he's like, man, hey, you know, that actually hit home. And that really did help me in reference to what you were talking about. And I said, you know what? Okay, cool. And then
it's just like a little bit. All you're doing is like, whatever you're thinking, you're putting into words and you're putting it out there. And then like, what if somebody connects, right? But you're not like, oh, I'm trying to, you know, start a podcast even or anything like that. You're just like putting that, and that's why I respect, man. When I saw it, like, because I know you, we follow each other, you know, we kind of keep each other in contact, see what's up. But once I saw you on Facebook and it was like consistently, I was like, man, he's on a mode, he's on a track, and you know what I mean. And it takes a lot, because for me, like I remember when I first started meditating and I got out in this mode that like, I know I can help people, and I used to like, let me help you. We were like, you know what I mean? Because like I help myself. Let me show you. But it's like you'll run dry. You'll run yourself dry doing stuff like that. So it's like we're like a lighthouse, and I saw you in your mode, and you weren't like really like trying to push it down people's faces. You weren't trying to, you know, wake up, guys. No, it's like, how you doing? How's your morning? You know, like, and I started listening to you, man, and it was giving me a, like, let's say like I had a lot on my mind. I was more like in tune to what you were saying and your voice, and just being more calm. I was like, you know what? All right, cool.
And the thing is, I mean, those motivational thoughts. I mean, it's not just thoughts that I research on Google or whatever's media website I'm on that time. I'm also, like you said, I if I see a Bible verse that really like sticks out in me, I'm like, I'm gonna share that.
Yeah, definitely.
But on top of that, I asked God to, like, you know, before I even start this whole, and I'm trying to go 365. Sure. And it's hard because the thing is, it's like you got so much different elements coming different your way, and it's like how do you figure out how to stay positive throughout the whole day? And the thing is, with those motivational thoughts, number one is I literally asked guys like, what should I like talk about for the week? You know, and one of them was about parenthood. Like I think like 2 weeks ago, I talked about parenthood, because I'm like, parenthood is like one of those things that when you reach that stepping stone of when you have your first child, it's kind of, I mean, there's no book. Or should I say, when our parents did it, there was no book for it. It was grandparents, aunts, uncles. Now, I mean, this new millennial is like, there's different types of books, there's trainings and different that. But to me, in my opinion, that's based off of having.
What was do you remember the Bible verse or what your epiphany was in
the whole epiphany is that, you know, I'm like I said, I take things that's in my own
life,
my own life, and then on top of that, stuff that I see out there in the world. I'm like, you know what? I'm seeing things. I'm seeing people, whether they're going through some rough times where they're not doing what they need to do to go ahead and be the parent for them. And at the end of the day, look, I'm being honest with you. I'm not not saying I was like the perfect parent. I'm
right,
not saying that.
But you're giving them advice. Like you see a verse, like I wish I would have seen this in my bad times or in my good time, whatever.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, I mean, and I give this to my ex-wife on this, because the thing is, during our marriage, I failed to make it known that, hey, you know what? And I had my own relationship with God. I mean, it's straight up. But the only thing is, I did not make it very, very known that, again, even though she was telling me, hey, you got the head of the house, that's supposed to be you. Then the neck, that's your wife, that's your support. All right, then everything else falls into place. If the husband is not like centric with God himself, everything doesn't matter how good you rolling in with the dough or doing this, you got the flashy cars, whatever. Yeah, things are not going to still fall in line. And that's, I mean, I'm paraphrasing. So guys, whoever is watching this and you a pastor and anything like that, I'm not. Yeah, no. So I want you to understand this is just the way biblical is, and it's something that I'm learning a lot more, especially with everything.
So you weren't vocal about that when you were married previously?
Yes, and now, and like I said, I give thanks for her for that, because at the end of the day, you know, she was right, and now I'm making it very, very known, not just to her, but to my kids and to my grandchildren, that hey, you know, you got to seek God for everything. Sure. You know, regardless if you don't have your personal relationship yet, but you definitely need to have some type of relationship with him, because at the end of the day, at the 11th hour, and I am true testament to this, at the 11th hour, God will provide. Sure. He may not provide when you want it, but he will provide on his time. And when it comes, oh God, it is so amazing.
So absolutely. Okay. So I appreciate that very much. So you're saying was God just not as much, you didn't make it a big part of your life when you were married? Is that what you're?
I didn't make it a centric, a centered thing in my life, but he was a part of my life. Right. It's just that the
structure wasn't there.
The structure,
like the Bible says,
was not there. Okay. And then that was me not listening.
Okay. So when you give those verses on Facebook, you're like kind of like, hey guys, listen. I'm not trying to beat it down your face, but like this verse obviously will give you a better direction if you need it. Exactly. And then here's a little bit of insight on why it touched my life. Exactly. That's great, man. I'm telling you, that's how you connect with people, because it's the real life. Number one is Bible, and that is, that's worldly. And then secondly, it's from your heart, from your life. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you're going to connect, and you connected with me. That I'm telling you, because I see you and I know you as a manager at Costco. So I respect, even when I left, I still have respect for you. So, I mean, obviously, I want to know who Brian Roberts is, though. Are you from El Paso?
No. So
where'd you grow up? Where are you from?
So I was a military brat, number one.
Where are you from?
Where'd
you grow up? Where were you born?
I was born in Hampton, Virginia.
Hampton, Virginia.
So that's not far from all the big letter agencies and stuff like that. My dad, he was in the Air Force. God rest his soul. And believe it or not, when he got out, we traveled everywhere. I mean, it doesn't matter where we went to. We went everywhere. But when he got out, I think we went to New York. We lived with his dad.
So when you were young, I mean, like when you were born, you were bouncing from city,
country to country.
Country to country?
Yeah.
Like what countries have you been?
Germany. I mean, been to Germany, been to
or cities.
Been to Alaska. I've been to let's see, when I was a kid.
Yeah, when you were a kid, yeah. Because I've moved, so I kind of know when you move, you start a new life basically. You new friends, new school, all that stuff.
Everything. So when my dad, like I said, when my dad got out, we ended up in New York. And Jamaica.
When was this?
This is when I was like 6 years old. Okay. And I mean, we ended up in Jamaica, Queens, where my dad, he worked with his father, but then he branched out from his car services to, he was a manager at Wendy's. He worked at Martin Paints until he actually started working for the New York Police Department then he also worked with housing urban development as well as an inspector. And believe it or not, he was doing that thing for like 15 years. Oh, okay. 15 years. I mean, there were times where I will, during the summer when I was out of school, I will go to work with him. Man, when I tell you, at the first time, I was ecstatic. I was like, man, this is what my dad does. He literally makes sure he goes and inspect apartments in New York City. I mean, all 5 boroughs. I mean, there was times where we'll be in. He had his office in Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan.
Jeez, nice.
Every different places. And then, I was like really proud of my dad. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, okay, what can I do? My dad was like, you know what, you can tell these numbers are. I'm like, Dad, I'm in 2nd grade. I'm like, I know, but you can do it.
Yeah,
because these guys, I'm like, these guys can't do it. I mean, I have to check their stuff all the time, but you can do it.
Gives you the responsibility.
Gives me the responsibility. And I was like in my 2nd grade. I'm like, okay, Dad, all right.
Yeah.
But later on, he got to the point where he retired. I mean, we moved from New York to New Jersey, and that's when he worked at Home Depot. Home Depot was okay, but then he noticed that, hey, well, one of his coworkers at Home Depot, you know, he went to Costco, and we had a membership at Costco. At that time, it wasn't Costco; it was Price Club.
Yeah.
And my dad, he just loved going to Price Club. I mean, if it wasn't for one thing, it was like for 10 things. If it wasn't for 10 things, it was just for one thing. It was always for milk. I can tell you that right now. My dad was a big person on milk. But at the end of the day, he started working at Costco. His first job at Costco was member service, and then he moved to cashier, and then he went back to member service. And that's
how old was he at this time?
At that time, I think he was like 43, 44.
Oh, wow.
I mean, and at the end of the day, he was good at his job to the point where he moved to North Carolina. That's where he like stopped right there. And he helped build the Costco over at in Greensboro.
Okay.
I mean, he literally was there helping it build it from step by step to step by step. And
so you're watching him do all this stuff, like get out of the military and then go from these jobs, trying to find a career or something that will actually stick and stuff like that.
And he stuck with Costco. Costco treated him well. It got to the point where something went wrong at Costco. I mean, my dad was very opinionated. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's where I get my not taking no for an answer, but the personality of where, hey, you know what? If something doesn't sit well, I gotta vocalize with it because it doesn't make sense, you know. But I think one thing led to another. It just didn't sit well, and he left the company from right there. But at the end of the day, the company was very, very good to him, even after the fact, because to this day, he still.
So how did that make you feel at that time when your dad like left the company? And
I mean, honestly, I think it was good because at the time I think he was like in his 50s, and it was time for him to relax because he had grandchildren himself. You know, it was time for him to enjoy his life. You know, this is where he bought his first house, and it was a monument stepping stone for him. And it was like, you know what, this is what he wanted, this is what he needed. And I was happy for him after the fact. And don't get me wrong.
What about you, though? Like, you're like 13, 14, 15, 16. Like, you're in high school, right?
No, at this time, I was in my
Right. But we're going back. Like, when you went, what about
when you was in Costco? When you was in Costco, I was like
so you're
14
you're going through high school, right?
Yeah, I was going through high school.
Where did you graduate high school? What city?
Oh, Woodbridge, New Jersey. And
New Jersey?
Yes, New Jersey. Big ups to New Jersey.
Yeah, I bet.
I mean, Woodbridge.
What year?
2000.
2000. Okay, I'm 2001. I should have been 2000, but I got.
It's all good.
Yeah, I over here in El Paso, they wanted more credits from me, so I had to stay an extra year and graduate. But
as long as you got
that's that year, so it's kind of like the same era though. So I imagine, wow, being in that northeast area during the 90s era, man, you know what I'm saying? That hip hop was big, man. Hip hop was big because like my biggest influence is Wu-Tang, man. Seriously, yeah. Honestly, like I remember being in Florida, right, and I'd be like in my phone, I'd be like, God, man, this. I'd be a brat, bro. Like seriously, like because I listen to Wu-Tang, they're talking about plucking roaches out the cereal box, sitting, laying side by side, and I'm like, I'm a fucking brat, bro. I need to fucking get out of this funk, you know what I mean? So like inspired me to be better, you know what I'm saying? Like it could be worse, basically, you know what I'm saying?
Believe it or not, I'm not. It's to the point where I was blessed to have the parents that I had that literally, they raised me to be a strong, opinionated person, but also a humble person. Yeah, and seeing my mom and my dad, they went through some things. I mean, it was very, very hard.
So like when you graduated high school, what did you end up doing?
So when I graduated high school, I actually got accepted to like 3 colleges. One of them was Princeton.
Damn.
Another one was Rutgers.
Wow.
And another one was Fayetteville State University. It's a historical black college. At that time, it was one of many historical black colleges. And also it was my dad's alma mater. So I said, I decided, let me go ahead and go there.
Follow your dad's footsteps.
Yeah.
Nice. And much respect. Yeah.
And I did that. And at the point right then and there, I did my freshman year, I did Air Force ROTC, where I literally started to the point where I joined Air Force Reserves. That was my actual stepping point into the military, because I wanted to serve my country just like my dad.
Okay, so I was gonna say, what inspired you to do it, to get in the military?
It's considered a family tradition, because it stems from something like hundreds of years, and this is to be back during the slavery time, is that where one slave owner, Captain John Roberts, he married one of my past descendants. Mm-hmm. This is like where at the time slavery was like, hey, this and that, and the slave owners, this is and that, but he chose to marry a black woman at the time, and it so happens it was a relative, one of my descendants. Mm-hmm. And that literally started our family history. Mm-hmm. But on top of that, it was to the point where everybody, it was some point in our family history, somebody was in the military. And my dad, he joined the military when he was in school at Fayetteville State University, and then it turned out to it so happens I did the same thing. So I did Air Force Reserves, and it got to the point where. So
you're going through college and you're in the reserves at the same time. So it's different than high school. I'm sure it's like next level. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's really next level. There was things where did a lot of training, but had to be in school. Had to be.
What were those challenges that you had to go through?
Let's see. Most of it was learning the history of the Air Force, and on top of that, basic training, all that other stuff. But it got to the point where it was tough, because I also was playing football too. So it was
balancing a lot.
It was balancing a lot, but at the same time, it was something that I enjoyed. But it got to the point where my junior year, I think this is when 9/11 started, and I remembered it to this day. And I only did like a 3-year contract with the Air Force Reserve at the time. During 9/11, it kind of hit close to home, because at the time, this is when my dad was still working as a New York inspector as well, because he also they always called him in from time to time to get and help him out with some things. But during the time of 9/11, my dad was one of many people that got stuck at the World Trade Center.
Oh, wow.
Underneath.
Jeez, really?
Yeah. And my mom, she was hysterical. My sister called me up. She says, hey, has dad called you? Has he reached out to you? I'm like, no, I haven't heard anything from him.
Oh, man.
So the main thing is my mom was hysterical. My sister was hysterical. I tried calling. They didn't hear from him for like 3 days. But, again, he was one of the blessed ones, because he was able to go ahead and get out of the rubble from where the actual trade towers fell.
Wow, he was? Jeez.
Yeah. So, believe it or not, it just kind of hit close to home to where now the military aspect, now it was building more into me. Like, what can I do to
help to serve? Yeah.
So what I did was, my dad, he wanted me to stay in the Air Force because it was like, so I guess it was like the most comfortable thing to do.
Right.
But I couldn't do it. So that's when I jumped ship.
Oh, wow.
And joined the Army.
Joined the Army. Yeah, wow.
Joined the Army and went reserve at first, but then after a while, I was like, nah, man, let me go active, man, because to this point is I need to do more.
Yeah. You had that calling. Yeah, for sure, man.
I really needed to do more, and I really wanted, just like everybody during that time frame, they wanted to make those people
pay. Yeah, for sure.
Know, because don't get me wrong. I mean, for a person that is knowing war all their lives, like, you know, the people overseas in the Middle East, I mean, that's what their whole life was all about. But the fact is this: the one thing that the United States does not bow down to is, if you come to our backyard, we are not going to take it lightly.
Right? That terrorism, in our backyard, for sure.
Yeah, that's something that I hold wholeheartedly. And I went from doing infantry, admin, logistics, and all this other stuff, even being a chapel assistant. That was one of the most rewarding things I did.
Those are all your MOSs?
Yes. And did some stints with special operations and stuff like that. It was my whole career. It has been very, very rewarding. I have helped train soldiers. I even helped people who came under me. Now they're promoted over me. And to this day, I mean, they've always told me thank you for what you did. And I've always seen them, when I seen them get their promotions ahead of me, I was like, you know what, I'm proud of you. They say, you know what, I'll owe it all to you. I'm like, nah, man, I had nothing to do with it. I was probably a
small facet, the hard work that they put in.
But the hard work that you did, the stuff that I've helped trained you for, that pretty much motivated you to go to the next level. And that's the whole thing that I've always wanted. That's what my dad, you know, I mean, at one point, and also we during my life, we really didn't have a good relationship. But at the point when he noticed that I was in the military, that's when things like kind of hit close to home. But it's to the point where I've noticed that his whole thing was about teaching people. Yeah. And that's where I get my whole thing about motivating people, because at the end of the day, it's like so important.
It really is, honestly. And like my past guest last week or a couple of weeks was Chef Oscar, and he talked about, you know, training people, but like treating them the way you would want your chef to treat you. You know what I'm saying? So you're the, you know what I mean? Like it's so cliche, but it's like, thinking about it, it's like, you know what? Let me take the time. Let me coach this person. I don't know if they know it. Let me not assume that they know this, and let me, you know, coach them and train them. And I'm sure you did the same thing. You had patience and things like that, because it takes a lot to be a good coach, good trainer, and things like that.
Definitely. That's the reason why, like, when I got off active duty and went straight back into the reserves, I just, at one point, it's just like, maybe I should just like give it a break. But now I say, no, I need to keep going. That's my calling, you know, to serve country, definitely. God and country. But then noticed that, hey, one of my good friends, when I was in the reserve unit with, to this day, give mad props to her. She chose to go into the active duty life. I hope she's doing well. I don't know if you remember Ebony.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, she's the one that put me back on with Costco.
Oh, okay.
And she's like, hey, yeah, you know, Costco, they're hiring right now. I'm like, okay, well, let me see. Let's see what it's all about.
Yeah.
Got hired. Mm-hmm. You know, and I'm like, man, it feels good working, you know, at Costco.
Wait, so you did 10 years in the military?
I did 12. No, I did 15 years.
Okay.
It's split between reserve and active before I went to Costco, and then I went back into the reserves.
Oh, okay.
So now I have a total of 21 years.
Wow, 21 years.
Collectively.
Thank you for your service, Mr.
21 years, and it's been a blessing. And then right now, I mean, I have been blessed to, you know, be at Costco, because it has been a blessing. I mean, I went from, when I started at Costco again, I started as maintenance. Maintenance is probably like the worst job anybody could ever get.
But at the same time, everybody gets paid the same at Costco.
Exactly.
Everybody gets paid the same. But yeah, the job probably was pretty fucking.
It was crappy. Yeah, and I can say that with the straightforward face. But at the end of the day, I hate to say it, that position is probably the one of the most humblest things you can actually do.
Right? Yeah, definitely. But I had a couple of questions about the military. I don't know if I could ask you real quick.
Go right ahead.
Before we get, I wanted to. What's the most memorable experience? Like, do you have any deployments?
Yes, I have.
So I was gonna say, what was like one of the most memorable experiences you have when you on your deployments?
I can tell you like this. I think the one where I was in Baghdad.
That's Iraq.
Baghdad, Iraq. 05 to 06, and a little bit pushed into 07 a little bit. One of the most memorable things was where out the blue, sunny day, it was like 102 degrees, and where our stronghold, where our forward operation base was at, we were not far from Baghdad International Airport and also one of Saddam's palaces.
Wow.
Okay. And mind you, it's a decent day. You know, everybody was there. I mean, most Army, but we had contractors there. We had people from Blackwater. We had some other three-letter agencies over there, stuff like that. All of a sudden, I mean, I'm just coming back from an actual, operation and stuff like that. I'm dead tired. Then all of a sudden I wake up to a boom. I'm like, what the hell is this? And I'm thinking that it's normal, but it was loud enough.
I mean, normal for being in Baghdad.
Yeah, normal enough to be in Baghdad. Yeah. So I got up and I'm like, what the hell's going on? And I was sharing it with had a roommate, Trey, and funniest guy. I mean, literally the funniest guy. But I got up. He was still asleep. I'm like, dude, wake up, man. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, wake up.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't hear that? I'm like, hear what? I'm like, all right, never mind.
Go back to sleep. Is it continuous?
Boom? It was good. Continuous boom. But it got to the point where next boom I saw, or next boom I heard, it was an RPG, literally coming over my head. And it hit on the outside of the actual base itself. It took out one of the fuel depots.
Wow.
And I was like, what the hell is going on? So I went over to my, I grabbed my gear.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Grabbed my gear, and I went over to the TOC, the Tactical Operations Center. And I literally asked them, I said, what the hell is going on? They're like, well, we don't even know. I said, so we're not getting like put on alert, not put on mobilize? Like, no, not really, because that's not really our area. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, the unit I was with the Special Operations Group, and they said, look, nah, man. I mean, if we're getting mobilized, it's for direct action. I mean, we're gonna do stuff, but they said, nah, they haven't put us on alert or anything like that.
So what do you do? Just take cover?
I mean, the main thing is just, honestly, in Baghdad, Afghanistan, depending on what area operation that you're in, you're going to hear stuff on a constant basis. Why? Because that's, the terrorism or any type of Islamic group or whatever terrorist group that's in that local region. They're wanting to go ahead and either do misdirection, or they just want to go ahead and just figure out the actual response time and figure out what they can do to go ahead and neutralize what elements are in the actual country at that time. Right. So during the time, I mean, United States, we were full force. We were constantly full force from 2001 all up into, I would say, 2018, 2019, when they start doing the withdrawal of troops and stuff like that. So it was a constant, rotation of all branches of services, all branches of units, going in and out. Doesn't matter what it was, National Guard, Reserve, active duty, doesn't matter. But for me, that was one of like the most memorable times, because it scared the living crap out of a lot of people. And then to see what I saw, I mean, millions of barrels of crude oil being exploded.
Jeez.
I mean, the main thing is they had, I think they shut down Baghdad International Airport for a couple of days at that time, just to go ahead and figure out what they could do to go ahead and either recoup all that stuff, what was left, or to make sure that nobody was hurt. Because I mean, technically, I mean,
that's crazy.
But
that's crazy. So you're talking about your friend Trey too. Like, so what? Tell me like the role camaraderie plays as a soldier.
Oh man, I mean, me and Trey. I mean, man, we were cool. He was at the time. He was communications at the time, and we were always if we had some downtime, if we weren't hitting the gym, we will go to like the little mini markets that they had. And God, man, when I say that they had everything there, I'm talking about Persian rugs. I'm talking about watches. I'm talking about DVDs. I'm talking about
everything.
I'm talking about 5-in-1 movie DVDs. Like stuff that you will never ever think you will see in the US. They got, I mean,
it's like a swap meet on steroids.
Man, I couldn't even explain it. Swap meet on steroids is probably an understatement. I'm telling you this right now, because a lot of people, I mean, it was legit. I mean, stuff that you can sell, you can buy, you know, the stuff that you could buy there. And we took home a lot of stuff, you know, everybody took home a lot of stuff. And it was perfectly legal for us to do, because at one point, if you, was given something by a local national, you have to like claim, you have to you have to turn it in, because it's considered I forgot what it's called, but we could not accept anything from any type of local national, especially if it was free. It's not something that we was able to do, because I know some people have where local partner forces will exchange like knives, you know, weapons and stuff like that, and it'd be like a gift, because it's like an honored tradition.
Sure. But it could maybe considered like a bribery or something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. And on top of that, it's just State Department's rules that you can't like, and also military rules. You can't like accept anything that is not been purchased. Yeah.
So throughout your military life, how would you say the service shaped your perspective on life?
Oh man, I mean, it gave me a sense of rules. You know, I mean, just like in life, there's always rules to anything, and it helped me, you know, build a person that you see today. And I mean, along with other things, but military had a big play into that, because I was able to go ahead and do certain things, accomplish certain things, be subject matter expert in many different things, you know. And to this day, I still get phone calls. Hey, do you know how to do this? Do you know how to do that? Do you remember how to do this? Where can I find this? Because with me in different job fields that I was able to be blessed to receive credit for, I was able to go ahead and constantly keep learning. That's my whole thing. I constantly kept learning. I did not just want to just be awarded a job field and then not know. And
that's kind of going into my next question. I was like, how do you develop your supervisory skills? Because I haven't worked directly for you, but I've seen your style, and I like it.
So the thing is, I mean, I give that also to the military as well, and also I guess I give that to my dad as well too. Because I mean, I know they say, you know, a leader is not born; they're made.
Right.
But for some reason, my dad was like a natural born leader. And I think that I got that from him. But the thing is, I've also learned to, one, be a student on people's habits. Just like you said earlier, how about your the last guest you had on there, treat people how you want to be treated.
Yeah,
that's the one golden rule that you have to understand. And when you become a supervisor or a manager or a owner of a business, you have to treat people how you want to be treated. So if you're wanting your people to, if you want your business to succeed and to thrive, guess what? You literally have to go ahead and set the example, set the tone.
Exactly.
Okay. Find the people that are going to build your brand into something that is legendary. And I use that word very carefully, legendary, because
There's responsibility in there.
There's big responsibility.
Yeah,
because you got to think about it. Like, let's take, for instance, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. Let's take, hate to say it, Bill Clinton, John F. Kennedy. You know, those were legendary personnel that I see. You know, you also got Muhammad Ali. Okay, you also got I'm trying to get
so I mean I see you like civil rights movement people, but more like people like human rights, like people that changed the way of life for people, that this is the way the world should be.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, look, we all out here to do one thing,
right?
Live. But on top of that, look, there's enough money out here for everybody to be great. Especially in this country.
Absolutely.
There's enough money.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, you see people that want to just tear people down when we all should be lifting each other up. And that's the thing. When I was at Costco, all right, this is a big thing for me. Okay. When I became a supervisor, all right, I wanted more. I wanted to do more. When I was in the tire center, I just did not kept being a supervisor, did this, tell people what to do. I showed people. I said, look, my job as a supervisor is to have you take over my position.
Right.
Okay. When I become a manager, my job is to train my supervisors to take over my position. If I become an assistant general manager or a general manager or a regional manager, my job is to train you. It's the same thing in the military. Okay. The moment I become a sergeant, staff sergeant, sergeant first class, master sergeant, sergeant major, my job is to mentor you, mentor the lowest person to get them to go to the next level. But at the same time, okay, you have to humble yourself as a leader. The one thing I can say, the biggest thing for a leader, characteristic wise, is to be humble.
There you go. For sure.
Because if you are not humble, I mean, everything else, it may fall into place, but it won't stay in place.
No.
That's the reason why that's why I'm like so, like, not hell-bent, it's not the right word, but so like strong on like literally putting and keeping the faith, saying, hey, you know what? You gotta have faith in doing things. Don't sit there and just say, hey, you know what? Oh man, I'm having an off day. Okay, well, guess what? This is what I do. Every time I'm like, if I'm upset about something, I'm in the car, I'm upset about something, I'm like, you know what, God, just literally physically take the wheel. And I just let go.
Yeah.
I mean, now mind you, I don't have a Tesla.
Yeah.
I can't, my car doesn't drive by itself.
Yeah, no.
But the thing is, I just say, you know what, just
put it in God's hands. Yeah, exactly.
Just put it in God's hands and just let go.
Yeah, let go for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's not worth it, man, to worry or stress, all that stuff, man, for sure, man. And we'll give you that. So that, I mean, your discipline obviously came from the military, but I mean, your like mental fortitude, does that come from your parents? That comes from
the mental fortitude definitely came from my parents.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom, strong woman.
Yeah.
I mean, she's I think she's probably like the most strongest woman I have ever known.
Yeah.
I mean, she has been through a lot.
What kind of principles did she instill in you?
One, definitely the religious aspect when I was a kid. But also treat others as you want to be treated.
Right.
She made it very clear to me and my sister that you need to treat people how you want to be treated.
Right.
Don't sit there and try to argue with them over something that I mean, is not worth arguing. Secondly, I mean, work hard. Everything in life is not going to be given to you.
Bet.
All right. You got to work hard. I mean, some people are blessed to receive those things, but at the same time, don't let that ruin or run your life. You know what I'm saying? Get back to the actual, what this country was really built on.
Right.
Working hard, getting what you actually deserve. That's why I'm like so hell bent on getting like finishing up my active duty years and retiring, because I believe in that. I believe God is telling me, hey, you know what? Yeah, you got enough. You got some more years in you. You know what I'm saying? You got some more years in you to go ahead and just go hard in the paint.
For sure. So, and I appreciate your service, man. Seriously, like your work in the military honestly gives me that freedom to be able to manipulate my passion as a chef. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yes,
so I mean, hopefully, what is your actual like expertise or passion? What would be your passion?
I am so passionate in protecting people.
Really?
I am like so passionate about that. The reason why I'm so passionate about that is because I mean, I have done a lot of protection details when I was overseas, in many different countries. I remember like one of the most significant protection details I did. I was with at the time I was working here in at the Fort Bliss area at the chaplain's office, and one of the command chaplains, he had brought in a retired FBI behavioral analysis agent, one of the first. I forgot this guy's name, but he was like really, really humble. I escorted him around and everything, and I asked him a lot of questions about some of the cases that he worked on. I mean, he was on the ones where, I mean, like Gacy and
John Wayne Gacy.
He was on the case
Who,
with
he won the
he was one of
Reagan assassination or attempted assassination.
Yep. He was one of the original agents. He was also on the one for Dahmer as well. Yeah, I mean, he was one of like the many few people that started the behavioral analysis unit.
Wow,
at Quantico at FBI. And the thing is,
so he was giving you some insight. He
was just giving me some insight. He was. I was asking questions like, I'm like, how can you like dig deep into a person's mind like that? He says, you know what? Honestly, it's very difficult. You know, you have to be a person to know. You have to literally know what type of person that they are. I mean, to dig deep into a person's mindset that is that corrupted is hard. But it made me get back into school. And he said, look, he said, literally, I see something in you that can not just benefit, you know, others, but it could benefit the world. So that's when I decided that I wanted to go into private security. Now, mind you,
you started your own business in this private security?
I started doing private security consultations.
Okay.
You know, didn't work out too well. But it got to the point where I did not lose that passion.
Sure. You were able to, keep that fire going. Sure.
I had to keep that fire going. But I think in the last year, before things went sideways for my health, I reached out to a guy in Dallas. His name was Winston. I mean, he's been doing security for like some years. He has a business called D3 Elite over in Dallas. He has been doing some like major things. And I linked up with him. I said, look, hey, I want to try to get back into the security thing again because that is my passion. That is like literally my passion. I mean, my whole central focus was like schools, protecting the new future of this country. That's the main thing. I mean, since I got granddaughters, and then on top of that, the stuff that happened at these schools in Texas, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey.
Jeez.
I mean, I just did my research and I said, look, this is my main thing. I want to build a security company that has a structure like the military, okay, where one, if something did happen, like let's take Blackwater for instance. I mean, Blackwater got renamed so many different times, but they were not held accountable to a degree. My business, once I rebuild it the way I want it to be, it's going to be to where one, veteran owned, veteran led, to help get these veterans off the street. There's so many on the street still.
For sure.
But on top of that, it gives everybody a chance to get some employment.
Right.
Because
to use their history, and just get some employment,
Not just the history, but I mean, my whole business, I want them to be able to be trained.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, it could be from all walks of life. Anybody could be taught something. It's just how well you soak in that knowledge and how well and how bad you want it.
Right.
Okay. And this is the thing. And again, I want to build it around a military focus where, hey, yes, it's going to be corporate. Yeah. Once it gets big. But the thing is, I want it to where it is mainly focused right now on the future of the future leaders.
I see you actually, it is your passion, right? And then you actually found your passion, and you're trying to, you yourself see a vision of like a business, and then you're also like, in a way, like looking to like give employment to other veterans. I mean, that's amiable. That's something that definitely to look up to. So like, what would you give your definition of entrepreneurship? What does that mean to you?
Well, definition of entrepreneurship to me is mainly being able to go ahead and make the necessary sacrifices to own your own, but also be able to give back.
There you go.
Because someone took a chance on you, and they saw something in you. And the main thing is being able to succeed, because as you know, most businesses that start up, they have a success rate. And I don't know the current success rate now.
Right.
But I know the failure rate is very high.
Yeah, for sure.
But as long as you are passionate about something, you're not going to want to quit.
Right. Yeah, that's for sure. That's 100% sure. That's why I think that's the couple keys that you hit you're not like, I'm going to, go down something like meal prep. Like, you know what? I know how to cook. Let me make some meal preps. You're actually like, my passion is to protect people. So let me either try to make a business or create a circle of people that are interested in, doing self-contract work to get these type of deals. And you know what I mean? And then maybe make a foundation, you know what I mean? But you're seeing the bigger picture rather, you know what I mean? Not just the small, like, can I make some money in my pocket? You know what I mean?
And the thing is, at the end of the day, and I mean, look, you're going to get paid. I mean, any job that you do, you're going to get paid for it. But the thing is, for me, my whole brand is, and I know a lot of people that might be watching this and that might be in the profession of the public sector and stuff like that. If you're going to, my whole thing is, whatever I contract out, and the moment I get my first contract, my contract is going to be for the lowest bid. And a lot of people say, why you go for the lowest bid? Because the thing is, if I go for the lowest bid, guess what's going to happen? People see it. People are going to go ahead and refer me to others. And believe it or not, depending on what they're needing, they're always going to get top rate. I mean, because you got to look at every company that's out there. I mean, let's take some security companies out there right now. All right, that's here in El Paso. Okay, I mean, depending on what they ask for, I mean, there's a lot to it. Okay, but the fact is this: what type of actual grade A training, what type of grade A security that you're going to receive? Okay, my main thing is this: whoever hires me, they're going to get not just me. They're going to get every bit of what the taxpayers paid to get me trained. Okay, so that means you're going to get whatever the military has put in me and some.
Yeah, right. 20 plus years.
Exactly. All right. And then on top of that, the people that are going to be working with me, you're going to get the same thing. And that's the whole main thing is you're getting top rate people. Okay. And then on top of that, the people that we're training, they're going to get the same top rate. Okay. They're not going to just go through a basic course that you can get online. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Those are good stepping points. But guess what? Training never stops.
I understand that for sure. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you gotta keep the muscles toned every day. I know that for sure because I'm getting back into the gym. I busted my ankle and took like a month and a half off. And that conditioning, man. I mean, just the lungs, the body, the movements. That you gotta keep them in tune every day.
Yeah, especially with me right now. Especially with the condition I'm healing from right now, from that rare kidney disease that we was talking about earlier, which I don't have a problem talking about here. Came down with a rare kidney disease that mimicked stage 4 kidney disease.
Right.
And it got to the point where thank you, Ben. I mean, and if it wasn't for God and my medical staff at William Beaumont, and I'm telling you, I would not literally be here. And the thing is that, you know, I have family, I have friends that literally motivated me to say, you know, it got to get well. My sister mainly, she's a nurse in North Carolina,
right? And
she's like, nah, we gonna make sure you get better. That means lay off the energy drinks. Because you know, at Costco, everybody had a bang.
That's a life force,
yeah. Everybody had a bang. If it wasn't a bang, it was a Red Bull. If it wasn't a Red Bull, it was a Monster.
Yeah,
but the thing is, I haven't had an energy drink since that happened to me.
That's good.
You know, and the thing is, not saying it's not good for you. I'm not saying that, but the fact is, it's really not something that is appeasing that will give me what I need to survive.
Healthier.
You know, stay healthier. So the fact is that my main thing is now, after everything is situated, it left me to the point where I could not barely walk. I was walking with a cane for nearly 3 months. And finally, in December, early January, I got myself back into the gym.
Wow, nice.
It got to the point where I could not lift no more than 10 pounds.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Yeah. So now I'm like I said, I'm walking on my own. As you can see now, I'm walking stronger now. Now my next step is getting back to running. So I got to jog. So I got to my next hurdle now. My next challenge is being able to go and do maybe half a mile by the middle of May, end of May, a full mile.
There you go.
And then by the time everything is said and done, and hopefully physical therapy says, hey, you know what, we see a lot big of improvement to where we think you can do an actual fitness test. Let's see what we can do.
God, man, that's crazy to have a 20-year career in the military, man. You've had deployments, you've seen things, I'm sure you've seen, you know, war and things like that, and it's almost like a stray bullet hit you, man.
Believe it or not, got shot at too. So I mean, you know, but yeah, it's like for that, it's like a stray bullet coming at you and taking you out, and it's like, dang, what can you do? And believe it or not, a lot of brothers that I've served with, that were in regular units, special operations units, I mean, they got hurt a lot. I mean, and it does take you out. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, the military, I mean, is now to where it was before, you know, is a lot better to where they're helping the military servicemen and women now, to where they're getting the most best care that they're needing to get back into the fight.
Good.
At the main thing, like the unit I'm in right now, the soldier recovery unit. I mean, I did not know too many things about this unit until I got into it, and it's like the world's best thing for any soldier that is injured, whether they're in the National Guard or Reserve or even active duty. I mean, it is like the best place to be at to get the best care.
Where?
Right there, soldier recovery unit, right there in Fort Bliss. It is really phenomenal. I mean, they got the phenomenal staff. They care about you. You got a gym right there in the footprint for soldiers to get the necessary help. I mean, also they got different therapy that you can do. You can do guitar, crocheting, wheelchair basketball, air guns, archery, along with getting spiritual help as well, because they have a chapel in there. You got Bible study there and stuff like that. I mean, then you can take NWR trips to like certain areas.
Being that you were in a recovery area like that, can you give me any kind of insight or like from that you have an experience with PTSD?
Wow, I can tell you this right now. PTSD is like one of those things that is hard to wrap your head around, because PTSD doesn't just have to happen in a wartime environment.
Sure.
PTSD can happen when you're home. I mean, you're dealing with so much stressors, all right, whether it be financial, family, work, even your own career.
Sure.
Especially when you're getting well, you can get a lot of PTSD from that. I mean, I put on everything. I had PTSD when I was in recovery at the hospital. And there were times where I had like some nightmares, man. I mean, when they gave me the medication that I needed to get and drain all that fluid, and on top of that to try to rebuild my whole internal body,
right?
I had like the worst dream. And I mean, it was like one of those dreams. I don't know if you ever had rolling dreams when it will roll from one dream to another dream to another dream.
No.
It was, man.
I've had those lucid dreams that seem like real.
Oh, no. This one was lucid.
Yeah?
Very lucid.
And it was rolling into different dreams?
Rolling to different dreams. It felt like I was in a sitcom.
That's crazy, dude.
You know, and I was able to finally wake up. Mm-hmm. And it got to the point where my leads from my for the machines, they came off. They and the nurse came in there. They were like figuring out what was going on with me. And then they at the time I had to get this medicine called butamine. Butamine, when they do it in a liquid form, it puts your body on. It feels like your body is on fire. But it's a diuretic to help you drain whatever fluids that may be in your body. Man, coming out those dreams, mm-hmm. and then taking that butamine, mm-hmm. at that time in the morning, I think it was like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, man, I was out of it. I mean, to the point where my blood pressure was skyrocketed. I could not even like contain myself, and they were able to get me cooled down, get me relaxed. It took them at least about 5-10 minutes to do that. And I'm like, man, I told myself I do not want to go through this again. I got too much to live for. I got family. I got my grandchildren. At the time, I only had 3 granddaughters at the time. And I cannot not let them down. I cannot let my family down, you know. And now that everything's going into the right directions, you know, I am thankful. I am thanking God. I'm thankful for my family. Thankful for my friends. Right. You know, that held me up.
That gratitude, man, for real. That's real shit right there.
Appreciate that. And the thing is, I'm like, even when you think that people that you will think will literally come and check in on you, I had some people that didn't even do that, you know, and it kind of makes you think. Really kind of makes you think.
It really does. Yeah, absolutely,
you know?
Man. Yeah.
And I think those individuals, personally, I always text them.
What does it make you feel? Because I in that moment, it makes me feel like when nobody's really reaching out to you, I really feel like I don't feel lonely. I feel like, you know what? I have the power to help somebody else. I really it's like, I know no one's reaching out, but like, let me just do this because I could be doing, you know what I mean? I have the power rather than just sulk in my, you know, whatever.
It makes bullshit. You feel, one, I tell you this, the amount of stuff that I did, mm-hmm. for my unit, for my job, for others. And mind you, I don't speak about my life, especially when I was at Costco. I didn't really speak about my life, mm-hmm. a lot. But the fact is, those individuals that I always confided in, you know, stuff like that, those are the people that I actually heard from the most. And I thank them every time. They were like, man, we heard you was we heard this happened. I'm like, yeah, I didn't want too many people at Costco to know, because the main thing is I really didn't want too many people to worry about, because they need to worry about what's in front of them.
Sure.
But the fact is, when I walked in Costco one day on with a cane, mm-hmm. everybody was like, what happened? Mm-hmm. And I told them exactly what happened. Like, who did you tell? I said, well, the managers knew.
Yeah.
I kind of like told them I really don't want the employees to know, mm-hmm. because it was important for them not to see me in that type of light. But when I saw so many employees that I was there for, I helped, I literally took the time throughout the whole day. I mean, even when we had the busiest days, and for whether it be a food court, whether it be Saturdays, mm-hmm. Sundays, doesn't matter. I took the time when they were in their worst, when they were at their lowest point, when they needed stuff. Mm-hmm. I took the time. Even when I was running the warehouse myself, right, I stopped what I was doing, because that's what type of person I was, and it's still the type of person I am. Yeah, I'm not gonna put you on a back burner because we got people coming down, the main aisle, this and that. Okay, well, guess what? I got this supervisor that can take over for me. I got that person that can handle this and that. I can take the 5-10 minutes I need to get in and figure out what is going on with this employee. That's the reason why so many employees came to me all the time. And I know some of the managers did not like that. Honestly, that is your opinion. That is respectful. I got it. I got to run the business. I got to do this and that. But the fact is this: they trust me enough.
So give me some advice, like when you're training people and instilling confidence in people. Like what's some advice for believing in yourself?
Oh man, first thing you need to do is release your pride.
Okay,
release that pride.
Yeah, really.
That pride, it can eat you up. It can eat you up. It is not forgiving whatsoever. That's the one thing. Second thing, be humble.
Right.
Be humble, because it is so important to be able to receive the criticism that you're needing to get and push forward. Another thing is, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid, man.
Yeah. And it all falls in line, the pride, the humbleness, and just and then just asking for help. Like we said that the other a couple episodes too, is just ask for help. Say just reach out. You know what I mean? This is what's going on. Exactly. Instead of being frustrated and mad or something, just hey, this is what's going on. Can you help me with this? Yeah,
exactly. Because it is so important to ask for help. I mean, because not everybody knows everything. Because if that was the case, if we all knew everything, man, I think we'll all be like Bill Gates, rich right now.
Ain't that the truth? Yeah,
we'll be all Kanye West rich right now. Okay, but at the end of the day, we all don't know nothing. Kanye didn't know everything. Bill Gates didn't know everything. That's the reason why he relied on people to go ahead and give them the right advice to where they need to be. But at the same time, I mean, as long as we are not ashamed to reach out and ask for help, I think we will be a better person.
Community, man. All of us. Yeah, exactly. So along that lines of pride and humbleness, help me define the line between confidence and cockiness.
Oh,
because I mean, you're in the military. You hold an M16, and you're also somebody that's that wears some non-slip shoes and talks to people as members. So let me talk to me.
Let me tell you something. There's nothing wrong with being cocky. I'm not gonna. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there's a level to you doing that, because having that cockiness type attitude, it blinds you to things that can actually help you. It can literally blind you.
Yeah.
I can even give you an example. I remember when I was playing basketball in high school and also in AAU. Man, when I was in AAU, man, nobody could stop me. Nobody could stop me. Every game I pulled down no more than 20 points. Anything less than that, it was an off day for me.
Nice.
I mean, you can say I was like I'm not gonna say that. That's me being cocky now.
There you go.
I always tell myself to, like, you know what, I was like the Jordan of AAU at the time.
Damn.
But and I kid you not, I don't know if you remember this guy's name. Because I played ball with him and he went to the NBA.
And he went to AAU?
He played in AAU. But he went to the NBA as well.
What was it? Harold Miner?
No, it's dang, man.
But so it was that level. Like you I mean, this guy was potential NBA prospect. And
yes,
you were and you could take him to the gym sometimes.
Yes, I got taken to the gym. I remember when we played against each other in the final AAU game. Me and a good buddy of mine.
Yeah.
And dang, if I can remember his name, man, I will let you know, because he went. No, matter of fact, he went from Duke to the NBA. He played for the Chicago Bulls. And to this day, that level of cockiness, I revamped my whole way of thinking about a lot of stuff.
Damn.
And the other thing about, you said confidence, right? Mm-hmm. So the thing about confidence, there's nothing wrong about being overconfident. But the thing is, again, goes with what I was saying about cockiness. you can still be blinded by certain things when you're overconfident. Okay, because the thing is, at the same time, being overconfident doesn't make you bulletproof.
There you go.
It does not make you bulletproof. It just makes you feel like, okay, nothing. I mean, yeah, you have that that level of nobody can touch you. Believe it or not, I'm saying this to everybody. You can be touched. Okay, you can be touched. You just don't know when or where or how, because you're blinded behind all that stuff.
Tell me about it, bro.
All right, so that's the reason why. In that sense, I mean, yes, those two, they go hand in hand. But the fact is this: there's nothing wrong with being cocky. All right, I mean, you look at Jay Mott from in the NBA. You got LeBron James. You got all those high end ball players. They're cocky. They were always cocky.
I think basketball, you need a certain cockiness to play basketball.
I mean, you gotta have a level of finesse. You gotta have that little swagger,
finesse,
definitely.
All that, yeah.
But the fact is this though. Jordan was cocky too when he first came out.
I think he was an asshole. There was no, I mean, he was just a straight asshole.
He was.
If you didn't work hard as fuck as much as he did, he was gonna take it to you.
He was always at next level.
Yeah.
He always did it the next level. Mm-hmm. But the fact is this though, he finally found that level of blending of cockiness.
Mm-hmm. I think regardless,
confidence.
He humbled himself to Phil Jackson and had to like be coached. You know? He can't just for sure.
I think once you get
team aspect came in, and
exactly once you get that nice rhythm, then all that other stuff that you used to do is out the water. I mean, like it's like going through life. I mean, we all feel ourselves when we turn those magical ages. 17, we're that pre-adult. 18, we're that legalized adult. 21, we're legalized. We can actually drink.
You said LeBron James and you said MJ. So who's the GOAT?
Look, I'm gonna tell you this right now. That is always going to be
who's the GOAT?
That's always going to be the actual thing. I mean, to this day, I mean, everybody's going to say the same thing. All right.
MJ?
Yes. I mean, MJ is always going to be, to me, the GOAT.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says to me.
Yeah.
I mean, my kid, he would tell me the same thing. But you know what though? I will also, if I ever had to go ahead and put another person to that, I will say Kobe Bryant too.
Oh yeah, definitely. But just that you said the names right now, so I just wanted to see what's up, because like Kobe is like on a different level. Because like for me growing up, I was a Heat fan, but like I lived in Phoenix, so I used to go to Phoenix games. I was Nash, he was big time at the time, but who was the Phoenix killer? It was Kobe Bryant, man. He killed all my dreams, bro, daily, weekly, you know what I mean? So I hated him, bro, for a long time. And it wasn't until unfortunately when he passed I really saw who Kobe was.
Yeah, Kobe. Yeah. I mean, it's like everybody. One thing I've learned in my years of living.
Yeah.
People see you for what they see, but at the end of the day, behind closed doors, people don't really see that other person.
Like the work you put in, like the actual hours you put in, the thoughts.
Exactly, and that's the reason why I'm like, man. I mean, I am like so grateful for life.
Yeah,
I'm grateful for my family, and I hate to say it. And this is one thing I've started to push out even with my motivational thoughts.
Yeah.
Just because you made wrong decisions doesn't mean that, those wrong decisions can't make you into a better person. Okay?
Yeah, we learn from all those L's, those losses, man. That's definitely something we preach here at Grind2Hard, man. Don't worry about like you made a mistake. All right, well, here's your present moment that you can change. Figure out how to make it better. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I mean, I see people. Take my children for instance. My children they're a true blessing. All right, they're a true blessing, and if I had to say one thing to them, all of them, is that always remember where you came from, okay? Because the way the world is now and the way the world is going to, okay, you have to literally remember where you came from. That where you came from is what will make you and break you at the same time. Because that's something that my father instilled in me. That's what my ex-wife had also instilled into them as well. So the main thing is that we as a people need to make sure we have people understand. Don't forget your history, all history. Okay, not just what's in the books, but all history. Because not everything that's in the book is pretty much word.
Right.
All right, because as you've seen, using school, history books, how many times they get rewritten?
Yeah.
It's always something that they forgot.
Well, I'll have to ask Paul about like history though, but yeah, we need to definitely do some research and make sure we know the research and the true facts.
I mean, because at the end of the day, I mean, history always has its way of changing things. All right, and this is where I'm a big history buff. I love history. I love it, and to this day, I've constantly learned more and more things. You know, because I want to know not just where I come from, but where, you know, everybody comes from.
How do we get here? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, how
to this point.
Exactly.
Yeah. So your motivational like speeches and the things that you do in the forum, like is that your way of paying it forward, or I mean, all the blessings that you've gotten, I mean, like getting through that valley of darkness with your kidneys, man, I'm really glad that you recovered and are recovering from that. So what is your idea, what's your on paying it forward?
My whole thing about those motivational thoughts is to reach out. If I don't reach out to just one person, if I'm able to reach out to a lot of people, if I can turn that into something that, you know, God has added to my toolkit. All right, that's what we use. That's what we use in the military, toolkit. Along with me, you know, doing, you know, private security, being in the private sector, I also want to be able to motivate people to do things that they feel. I mean, we got Steve Harvey, who did his book and turned into a movie. Think like a man, act like a woman, all that stuff. But the thing is, my whole thing with the motivational thoughts is to let people know that you're not alone.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not alone in things that you are dealing with.
Yeah.
Because you'd be surprised on how many people are going through the same.
Yeah, man.
thing.
We seriously, like, yes, we all wake up with doubt, with worry, with stress, with okay, this is what I got for the day. Am I ready? Am I energized? And but you know, it's good to see as you're scrolling, not just BS, but actually somebody that's in their car on their way to start their day, and they're actually thinking about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, let me give you a second. You know what I mean? I need to actually listen to what you got to say. And then you start with the Bible verse, and then it's a little bit of you know, intersection of how it you know, it impacted your life.
Yes.
And then, you know, man, like but I can see your mood. What I like about it is your mood, because we're all not like happy to go to work. We're not like ecstatic to go to work. So it's like, I've had my coffee and I'm in the car and I'm doing a little traffic here, but you know, I'm motivated, guys. How you feeling out there? You know,
I'll be honest with you. It was like one. I think it was one, and I think I told. I made it clear to when I was on Facebook Live. I said, look, there's gonna be times where you'll get a video from me, a live video from me.
Sure.
Sometimes you will get a actual, you know, a Bible
post
that motivated me. You might get a thought that I've researched and I looked at. I'm like, man, you know, I think this might help somebody right now.
Right.
And I noticed a lot of people will like yourself will comment, or they'll like it. They'll put a heart. They'll put a care.
Yeah.
You know, and at the same time is something that it will instill people, because honestly, the first thing when I wake up in the morning, and I wake up at 3:00 in the morning, then I wake up again at 4:45 in the morning. First thing I do, I thank God. Okay, I thank God. I don't just ask for something. I thank God. I literally take 5 minutes to thank God.
Good, man. Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we can pray for extra money. We can pray for a promotion. We could do this. But the thing is, the first thing in your prayer, in my opinion, should be thanking God for just waking up. Thanking God for being able to see. Thank God for being able to taste, smell, hear. Thank God for having a house or apartment or a car or a beater.
Yeah, yeah, whatever. You know? Yeah, no, honestly, yeah, seriously, like, for a while, like, I remember I was like in the dumps because like I had a house, but my kids weren't stopping by as much, right? And I'm like, but then I like opened my eyes and I noticed I have 4 walls where I have a house, and I'm like, come on, like, let's get out of this funk here. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, right? Like stay motivated, stay positive. And I want to say seriously, like what somebody told me is, you know what, like, and through this world there's a lot of bullshit and negativity. It's good to have just a little bit of positivity. So if people are giving you likes and cares, it's because they need a little positivity in their life, man. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of positivity. So Mr. Roberts, the soldier you are, I really appreciate you, man, because like you're somebody that I definitely look up to, because you put in that work, man, and over here at Grind2Hard we respect that. So I appreciate that. I hope your story motivates somebody, and just realize, like, you're in the military, you put in your work, you have another life after there too, so you got to think about that, you know what I mean? Like,
definitely absolutely. I mean, a lot of people don't think that there's life after the military.
Absolutely, there's definitely, absolutely, and you're proof positive, man. I really hope you get that business going. If you need any help from me, let me know. I'm getting into the celebrity status, so I might need some security here. No, I'm just playing. Cap.
No. I'm telling you this is the one thing I will say about you. Clay, I'm telling you this right now.
Yeah.
And this is the one thing I said about to a friend of mine a couple years ago. Yeah. All right. They were in a, not saying it was a dead-end relationship, but it was a relationship that did not,
didn't work out.
It wasn't going in the right direction. And I told them, I said, hey, I don't know what it is. And maybe this is where I think God was like, was literally telling me something. Right. And at the time, I mean, I had my own relationship with God. Not as powerful as it is now, but before it was there, but it wasn't just as powerful. But make a long story short, I told them, I said, look, something's telling me right now that you don't need that person. Mm-hmm. You can do everything you need without them. Yeah, it's going to be hard. Mm-hmm. But guess what? You're going to succeed.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, and I'm telling you this right now. Less than 2 weeks ago, they closed on a home. They've been in an apartment. They've been in, not trying to put the business out there, but they've been in apartment. Mm-hmm. Finally, they got their own place. Right. Not an apartment. Mm-hmm. A house.
Right.
A house.
Right.
Okay. Took them 2.5 years, and I told them, I said, don't worry about what happened. Worry about what's going to happen now. Yeah. You're going to go through some stuff. Yeah. That's how God works. He knows you're going to go through some stuff.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But at the end of the day, he still loves you. He's still going to go ahead and provide. Mm-hmm. As long as you give him his due, guarantee you. Oh, yeah. His stuff is going to happen. That's when I was telling you about your chef.
Me?
Yes.
Oh.
and I remember, no cap, I was telling you was telling me, hey, this is what I want to do. I'm like, and I tasted your food. I remember I tasted your food. I was like, I'm going to be your first taste tester. Yeah. I did. I'm like, man, this is slamming. This is good food. Yeah. And I'm telling y'all right now, if y'all have not literally rung his phone, his Facebook, his Instagram, I'm telling you this right now. Yeah. Y'all need to get on his Instagram right now and see his work. Yeah. This man got skills.
Yeah, I hardly ever promote my business, man. Yeah, it's keeping it PC. It's personal chef service here in the 915, y'all. Check it out.
I'm telling you right now, this dude got serious math skills.
Yeah, I'm blessed, and that's why I do the podcast, man. It's my way of paying it forward, man. And I want people to be motivated and just realize that, you could be in the dumps. You could feel like all the negative is in your way, but like, positivity is coming your way if you just think that way. Yes. Stay positive. So thank you, Brian. I appreciate you coming on the show and telling your story, man.
Thank you.
My people, please stay positive, stay motivated, keep going. That's what we preach here at Grind2Hard. And I'm proof positive, man. And this man right here, just put in the work. God will give you the blessings.
Amen.
Peace out, y'all. Stay up.